And I was like, you are such a monster. And he was like, yeah, you're right, bitch.
Okay, so if you can introduce yourself.
Bitch, please.
Y'all know who the fuck I am.
Hello and welcome back to Also Chanel. I am your girl Deanna Chanel. This is going to be part 2 of my sex trafficking story. This is going to be officially how I escaped. I did a lot of lying to escape. I had to be very, I was a liar because I did tell lies, but I had to be very methodical, and I can't even tell you how hard it was to be methodical or even try and think of anything when you're hungry, you're delirious, you're high as fuck all the time, you're dehydrated, and you're under pressure of just the submission of fear. Cause it's just damn, if I don't pull this off, this man, my life is in his hands. So quite literally, after him punching me in my face, man, I was like, bro, forget this. I knew he was a dangerous man. Do you know that something that rings in my head? I'm going to cry. When he hit me, when he backhanded me, I had never been hit like that before. I had never experienced something like that. And I was just screaming. And he was just yelling at the top of his lungs and just going off. And I was like, you are such a monster. And he was like, yeah, you're right, bitch. You know how evil that is? And then that night, he ended up taking me to his, I told you he took me to his apartment building or whatever. He left me outside in the hallway. He had ended up falling asleep on me or whatever. And he left me in the hallway in his apartment building. He came back a few hours later. I was crying. I fucked up. I'm in this bright neon dress just in the hallway, just damaged and bruised. So when it when it comes to damage, you got to understand, I had to heal. I'm currently healing through that. And it's just to know I stayed in that situation because I knew I didn't have anything to come back home to. And to come back home to absolutely nothing. And to be reassured that why you stayed in that fucking situation to get beat on and stuff. That's a even bigger dagger. So if we're talking about forgiveness and stuff, man, you might get forgiveness from God before you get it from me, because that's hard for anybody to, to take on. But fear had truly set in when it came to this man. So it was just when it came to escaping another time, I didn't care. I was going to do whatever it took. Because just either you're going to kill me or I'm going to escape, whichever way it goes. If I'm dead, I'm dead. It really don't matter. And it was one of those situations where obviously my family don't give a fuck about me. So let's not act like me being dead is actually going to mean something. It was just a bunch of things going through my head. So, but the only person from back home that I would literally keep in contact with was Gregory. Gregory was the only person who knew what was going on. And he also desperately wanted to help me, but he didn't want to make any moves without me making any moves. So he was just kind of on standby, just waiting on whenever I was going to try it again, So I told you that I've been on the blade before, in the dress with the high heels, catcalling men come pick me up. Quick play, I get back on the strip, do whatever I need to do. Mind you, we're talking about 12-hour shifts in fucking heels. I'm not even kidding. I'm flat-footed. I don't wear heels. That's not even something that I feel comfortable in. But I figured that shit out that night. He made me figure that out. So I did that. But he also had me on websites and with random phone numbers on random apps like messaging men. So it was just different ways that I did find tricks or clients or whatever you want to call them. So when he had made up the decision that we were going to go to Colorado, he had made us switch our location. So we would start hitting up Johns and tricks and stuff like that to kind of start getting the ball rolling. He had already let us know that when we went out to Colorado, when we got to Denver, we were going to be on that blade strip, whatever they got up there. We were going to be out there on that night. I really After a few strips on the blade, especially like in Texas, I don't want to do that. Like, I'm so sick of this shit. It got to the point I would just rather die. I don't care. I would rather die. It's not that, like, living is not that important to me. I had really gotten to that point. So we arrived to Colorado. He had always had like some type of deal with hotels and stuff. So I don't know. When we arrived, I don't remember checking into a hotel like ASAP. I don't remember checking into a hotel till like the evening when it was time for us to like get on the blade and like start getting ready. So one thing I do remember is us when we got there. We went to a park. We played basketball. Weird. We played basketball. We went and got ice cream. We would always do stuff like as a family. Just that weird ass shit. This is where the line came in. Oh, we went to a car wash too. This is where the line came in. I would be on the phone, like, just trying to figure out ways, like, texting Gregory, like, I told Gregory this is the day that I was going to escape, and I literally did, because I was like, I can't take this no more. But I was in my phone, and the pimp was getting kind of skeptical, but I kept telling him I was in my phone checking on my dad, because my dad had just had open heart surgery. Usually, I do not like lying and using stuff like that, especially on people, but it's not that I was lying. He just did that years ago. My dad really did. Well, he's not my dad. My mom's ex. He got a pacemaker at the time. So, well, a few years before then. So it wasn't that I was lying. I was just using a story that had already happened. So I was like, checking on my dad and all this other stuff. But in reality, I really wasn't. But you want to know the twist in the story? There was a particular time where, yes, I was using this lie. I knew I couldn't call anyone. Do you know I quite literally did call my mom's ex? And I told him it was a random call from a random number. He knew something was wrong. He was like, "Are you okay?" It was like a scene out of a movie. It's so crazy. He was like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, yeah, I'll be all right. And he was just, telling me that he loved me and he missed me. It was one of those moments. I don't know. Looking back, it was one of those moments where I was like, oh yeah, somebody does care about me. But fast forward, he actually don't give a fuck. So that's fine. But it was like reassurance at that point in time for me. So he knew something was wrong just by the way that he was on the phone. But it's like you don't have time to tell your family far away that you're in danger. It's just like, it is what it is. Especially my stepdad, especially my mom's ex, who had already moved on with his life. So it is what it is. We had got to this spot. It was like this outdoor seating area, and that used to have like little patio lights up at the top. There was like little bunch of people outside playing soccer. It was like masses of people, and there was also like an area where you could go get like an indoor area where you can go get ice cream, food. I think there was like a little playhouse. It was like a pavilion or something like that. So we arrived here. This particular place I've seen before. I've dreamt of it. I dreamt of it and back home when I was at my mom's house. But it was deja vu. It was so crazy. It was so real. But we had already got he had told us we can get one scoop of ice cream. He always felt the need to be in control of bitches. But one little fuck ass scoop of ice cream. Then he just goes sits in the car, leaves me and the girl at the table, right? I kind of end up walking off and going to sit at another table. And, I'm just doing my own thing. But at this point in time, I decided to make the call to my mother. My mother that I hadn't spoken to since I made that Dear John letter and just left. I hadn't spoken to her since, but I did contact her because I was about to try to escape again, and I didn't think that it was probably going to go well. So that call to her, it really was goodbye, if you want me to be honest. I called her, and I felt so bad because no mother wants to hear that, but I called her. I just let her know, like, I've been being tried with for a little minute, and Hey, I tried to escape once. It didn't work. I'm about to try that shit again, and it might not work again. When I told her, like, you don't want to purposely put your mother in pain, but I can't forget. I heard her heart drop. I heard her heart drop in that phone. She was just like, out of that gasp. And then it was like, she kept saying, I knew something was wrong. I knew something was wrong. And I just basically told her, I was like, look, Gregory knows what's going on. I'm going to send him the hotel that I end up going to or whatever and booking at. I said, I don't know what needs to happen, but I said, I'm going to try again. But I said, I can't do this. Like, I really can't. So my mom knew Gregory because Gregory was like a shared best friend between me and my brother, and he was the manager at a job I used to work at back home. My mom knows of Gregory, and my brother does too. That's how I got in contact with my mother. I called my brother, and I told my brother to go get my mother, and then both like sit down and put the phone on speaker, and I told them both at the same time. But basically my mother, my brother, and Gregory kind of teamed up, and my mother sent out a missing persons report, and she sent out a missing persons report, right? By this time, I did not know what was going on. I had told my mom to contact Gregory, but by me even calling her, calling him, or doing any of that, it was like tensions were already high, and I didn't know what was about to happen. So I was just like, I just left it as is, and I continued with the night. I grabbed all of our stuff is in the back because we had just come from Texas. So I grabbed not all of our stuff. He had put some of my stuff like in his storage facility, and then like some of my main stuff was like with me. So I took 2 bags of my immediate belongings that I need to get ready and prep to get back on the blade, right? So he made us go upstairs, shower, get ready for another night on the blade. One thing I want to tell you is that my room number was 444. People don't believe in like angel numbers and stuff like that, but it be like stuff like that where I'm just like, I feel like God does use like human things or like human interactions to like show you like, hey, I'm here, like something's about to happen. But my room number was 444. I originally started getting ready. I was one of those, I didn't have much when I started like with him, but when it came to getting ready, I could get ready pretty fast. And I had this short blonde hair. It was like between me and the girl will always take forever to get ready. She was like one of those makeup, wig, and all that, which I get it. She gets the game. She knows what it takes. But so I get ready, and I'm done getting ready. It's about 10 o'clock or whatever. I'm done getting ready. I haven't put my shoes on. I'm oiled up, the dress on, everything, right? She's not done. So I take a nap, right? I take a nap while she's getting ready. Had she not took as long as she did, I probably would have not escaped that day. So I'm laying on a couch. I'm laying on a couch in this room. This is the couch. The couch is against the wall in the room, right? The door is like right here where the couch is, right? So I'm laying on the couch. I'm a heavy sleeper, unless, I don't know how, but sometimes if danger is around, I can hear it and I can snap out of my sleep. It's like sometimes I can tell the difference between certain noises, but I was also delirious at this point, so that was probably why I didn't hear this knock at this door. So I'm asleep. I get woken up out of my sleep. The girl is shaking me. She's like, wake up, wake up, wake up. I have a phone. It's a phone in front of my face, and it's a dark screen, but it's on FaceTime. It's the pimp cursing me out, yelling at me. Who has your location? Who has your location? Why is your family calling you? Why is your family calling you? Who calling you? Da 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 da. And I'm like, I just woke up. I'm dehydrated, high. Like, it was just like I'm under all these effects. So it's just like, what are you talking about? So come to find out, like in that moment, he's cursing me out. Like, who has your location? I'm delirious. I'm like, nobody. But really, nobody did have my location. But I'm starting to see what just happened. He was like, why did the police just come knocking at the door looking for you? I'm like, I don't know what's going on. And I didn't. So you know, while he's cursing me out, my phone, I get a call on my phone. It says Aurora CO. That's that was where I was, Aurora, Colorado. I answer it. It's the police. They're asking me yes or no questions. Hello, is this Deanna? Yes. Are you in the hotel so and so? Yes. Are you safe right now? No. And she was just like asking me stuff. She was like, I just went to the room to see if you are there. Are you still there? Yes. It was like all these questions. Mind you, the pimp is in my face cursing me out still. So the girl's like, they were like, the cop is like, can you come downstairs? She was like, is it safe to come downstairs? In that moment, my heart is effing racing. I'm like, oh my gosh. I got the pimp cursing me out. They're like, you know, just hang up. It was so much going on at that moment. They were like, can you come downstairs? I said, yeah. I started packing up my stuff. And then the pimp is like, what are you doing? And then the girl's like, the girl had said, she asked if you were okay. I said that you were okay. I said, yeah, but you didn't even ask me if I was okay. I had been just saying the whole time that I didn't want to be there. I'm like, you up there telling them I'm okay. I said, I did not say that I was okay. I literally grabbed my bags. Like, when I tell you my heart was racing. The girl trying to get me to stay, she's like, oh, hold on. Like, wait. I'm up here like, let me hurry up and get to this hotel before elevator before he meets me at the elevator. It was just like temps was rising. Like, she was down the hall. I'm going down the hallway, like going to get to the elevator. She like, wait. But it was like heavy on her part because she's gonna get in trouble for that too, because you were taking for fucking ever trying to get together. We should have been out this spot. Like, it was just like so many things. So I go downstairs to the front desk, and there's a cop sitting there, and they're like, are you Deanna Williams or whatever? I'm like, yeah. And they were like, they were just basically telling me what happened. They were like, yeah, your mom called, put a missing person report on you. And they were like, they were trying to get me to tell my story there. I was like, if you want me to be so for real, I said, we cannot be here. I said, we need to go. I said, he's sitting in the parking lot right now, probably watching us. I said, we need to go. Like, I don't want to be here. So they packed up my 2 little bags. I hopped in the cop car that night and I left. I went 5 minutes up the road. Do you know 5 minutes up the road was the FBI headquarters along with the police station? Why the fuck would you get a hotel that close to that? That didn't even make any sense. I'm just shocked. I don't think I'll ever be able to describe to you what I felt that night, because it's still unreal for me. I still have not processed that. Biggest, deepest apology to my mother. I will give her that, because that's a lot to put anyone through. I am sorry to put her through that, but that was like one time where I needed her more than anything. So yeah, we ended up 5 minutes away from that. We ended up at that police station. I'm standing outside. My phone is on speakerphone and it's sitting on top of the car, and I'm telling the cop everything that happened. And she's like asking me questions. And after everything that my mom heard, my mom still chose to leave me at that hospital. And I think that's what hurts the most. That is truly what hurts the most. I was given the option in that hospital. I told them everything. They ended up getting me set up with a sex trafficking hotline advocate. I think her name was like Caroline or something. She was the sweetest lady. They ended up giving me like a bag of clothes, fresh clothes. I ended up going to the hospital. Had to get blood work drawn. I had to take those pills that make sure, you know, you don't have any diseases. I had to get tested. I can't tell you. I can't even really tell you how exposed I really felt in that moment. And then in the hospital, they were sitting there, and the lady, she came in, the advocate, she said, we can put you in a shelter here in Denver, Colorado. We can send you back to Texas, or we can send you back to Georgia, where you're originally from. I didn't know Colorado, and it was like, it wasn't worth me trying to get acclimated to another area like I did Texas. So I was like, I can't do that. Texas, I didn't want to go back to because of the pimp. And I mean, it only made sense to go back to Georgia because that's really all I knew. And honestly, I needed a familiar setting because I had just been through so much. But the only way I could go back to Georgia is if I had somewhere, if they knew that I had somewhere to go to. Of course, I called my mother. That's my mother. It's almost like if you gave birth to me, that would obviously be the first place I could think that I could call. I called my mother. She was like, basically, how you left things, I don't have anything for you. I say that like that because those words ring in my head. That is exactly how she said that. With the way you left things, I don't have anything for you. Well, with the way you left things, I don't have shit for your ass too. How about that? So it's just like, yeah, I am still bitter about that. But she has her reasonings, and so do I. But I think the hurt came in. It was just like, that's why I stayed as long as I did, because I knew I didn't have shit to come back home to. But I ended up calling my mom's ex, my used-to-be stepdad. He had already remarried at the time. He had remarried to this woman who worked for, like, this particular county back home. And, like, I thought that she said, yeah, we're going to get you in all these systems. We're going to help you get your life back on track. His wife is a weirdo. So, actually, they're all weirdos. Next story will be how I canceled out my stepdad that has literally been in my life since 2. My stepdad ended up helping me. It was crazy because that's how God is good. It might not work out all the time, and it might be seasonally, or people might be here seasonally. Hey, they might just be there for the moment just to get you through a little something. But my stepdad's new wife, do you know he had cousins out? She had cousins out there, and they ended up got me, picked me up, and they took me to the airport so I could get back home. Just random people. They made sure I got me a basket of canes. They got me a meal of canes and put me on the flight August 1st. I can't even, that moment, that night is still unreal for me. My life is still unreal for me because I can't believe that happened, but it can literally happen to anybody. But that's how I escaped. And while I did say, yes, my next part will be about how, about my stepdad or whatever, along these parts, I'm also going to tell you about how, do you know that the name Julian, I've said that name before. That was like one person who helped me out along this journey. I was staying with that person for like a little minute. The pimp contacted me to come back to that life, and I almost did, only because of how people were treating me at that time. Like that guy Julian that I was living with, which I'm not saying that it's anybody's responsibility to take care of me or anything like that, but it was just, I knew this person, and for you to say that you're trying to help me and you're being weird, he pushed me to the point where I almost went back to the blade. I'm not even kidding. It was because I was already weak, and it was just somebody really hurting me even more. So I'll get into that too, but that's quite literally how I escaped. I had the lie to get up out that thing, but do I regret it? No, I'm out that thing now. I cannot believe that happened. I truly can't, but I'm just blessed to be one of those that made it out, truly. Because women don't. Women don't, and they get stuck in that life. And then honestly, we're in this day and age of society where women think it's cute to be selling their bodies. If you like that, cool. I don't know. I feel like I'm worth so much more than that. So that is how I quite literally escaped. And big thank you to Gregory. A big apology to my mother. I will give it to you when I see you next time. I will apologize for that pain that I did put you through. I know that is hard. I know that is hard. Regardless of how I feel about my mother right now, I know just putting that on her and everything that has gone on in my life, I'm pretty sure she is affected by that too. So I do apologize for that, but it is what it is. there's nothing I can do about it now. So it's just like I just have to heal from my traumas. And boy, is that hard. But that's okay. Please like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you next Friday for part 3. Bye.